Have you ever witnessed the profound power of faith in action? When a revered statue of the Virgin Mary was slated for removal from our city plaza, the sequence of events that unfolded was nothing short of miraculous, leaving even the most skeptical hearts transformed. Let us see how far the blessings of the Virgin Mary can reach. What transpires when the march of progress demands the sacrifice of the sacred? Before we continue, take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments. Where are you watching from? And what time is it there? If stories of faith, hope, and community speak to your heart, please like this video and subscribe for more uplifting journeys. In our city plaza, the statue of the Virgin Mary was more than mere stone. It was the heart and soul of a community. When its removal was announced, the ensuing events were beyond anyone's expectations. Can you imagine our city plaza without its beloved Virgin Mary statue? When plans for its removal were made public, the aftermath was something no one could have predicted. In the heart of our city, a statue of the Virgin Mary has stood as a beacon of solace and hope for nearly a century. When Mayor Lucas, caught in the delicate balance between progress and preservation, agreed to consider its removal, a ripple of unforeseen events began to unfold, transforming lives in ways that defied human understanding. Mayor Lucas, a pragmatic leader estranged from his Catholic roots, is approached by ambitious developers with a vision for a modern commercial complex. The plans promise economic growth but come with a heavy price: the removal of the beloved statue. As he stands before the serene likeness of Mary, Lucas feels a stirring of unease, reminiscent of a distant, almost forgotten faith. Father Thomas, the wise and gentle shepherd of the community, advises Lucas to seek guidance through prayer, suggestion that leaves an indelible mark on the mayor's heart. Despite his inner turmoil, Lucas agrees to consider the proposal, unknowingly setting the stage for a conflict that will test not only his values but also the depths of his faith. Transition to backstory. As Lucas wrestles with his decision, buried memories of his Catholic upbringing resurface, and the quiet strength of the community becomes impossible to ignore. This inner turmoil marks just the beginning of a journey that will challenge Lucas and lead him back to the roots of his faith. Now, let us delve into the rich tapestry of this deeply personal and spiritual tale. As the dusk settled over the small town of Oak Ridge, Lucas found himself alone in his office, the sounds of the bustling town hall fading into the quiet of the evening. The decision about the statue loomed over him like a shadow, its significance far surpassing the mere question of urban development. It was a decision weighted with the soul of the community and the echoes of a faith he had long left unexamined. The news of the potential removal of the beloved statue of Mary had spread quickly, igniting a firestorm of public opinion. On one side, there were those who yearned for modernization, eager to see Oak Ridge embrace the future with new parks and facilities. On the other, a deeply rooted attachment to the statue, a symbol of faith and tradition, refused to be silenced. Lucas was acutely aware of the divide, feeling it within every interaction he had throughout the day. Even the casual greetings at the local cafe were now tinged with an underlying tension, as if each person was gauging his stance on the matter. In the quiet of their home, Elena, his wife, sensed the burden he carried. She approached him with the gentle wisdom that had always been her hallmark. "Lucas," she said softly, coming to sit beside him on the couch. "Sometimes the things we can't see hold the most value. The statue may just be stone, but to many, it's a reminder of something greater." Her words resonated with a truth Lucas couldn't deny. He had been so focused on the tangible benefits of progress, he had overlooked the intangible heart of the community, the shared faith and the memories intertwined with the statue's presence in the town square. The following day, Lucas attended a community meeting. The room was packed, the air thick with anticipation. Father Thomas stood at the center, his presence a calming anchor amidst the swirling emotions. With a gentle but firm voice, he addressed the gathering. "The statue is more than a piece of art or a landmark," he began. "It's a testament to our faith, our history, and the unity that binds us as a community." The elderly parishioners nodded, their eyes filled with the wisdom of years and the stories of generations that had come before. Mrs. Jenkins, who had lived in Oak Ridge for over 8 decades, stood up, her voice trembling yet resolute. "That statue has watched over us through births, weddings, and farewells, seen our struggles and our joys. It's part of who we are." Lucas listened, each word deepening his understanding of the profound connection between the statue and the town's identity. As he glanced around, he saw faces marked by earnest hope and quiet desperation, each one silently pleading for the preservation of something that anchored their lives. The meeting stretched into the night, emotions running high as more voices joined the discourse. Through it all, Lucas grappled with his role as mayor, a position that demanded he balance progress with preservation. Yet, it was also a journey that was beginning to steer him back toward a faith he thought he had outgrown. As the meeting concluded, Father Thomas approached Lucas, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Lucas, whatever choice you make, know that you are not alone. We are here with you, and so is God. Sometimes, the path that seems the hardest is the one that brings us closest to Him." The words lingered in Lucas's mind as he walked alone under the starlit sky. The town was quiet now, the streets deserted, save for the whispering trees and the distant hoot of an owl. Drawn by an invisible thread, Lucas found himself standing before the statue once more. In the moonlight, Mary's serene face seemed to hold a gentle understanding. Lucas felt an overwhelming sense of vulnerability, as if every layer of his carefully constructed defenses had been stripped away, leaving nothing but his bare, questioning soul. He closed his eyes, and in the stillness, he prayed a hesitant, stumbling prayer that sought guidance and strength. It was a conversation with God, raw and sincere, born from a place of deep longing and uncertainty. "Help me see the path, Lord," he whispered, his voice barely breaking the silence. "Help me choose not just with my mind, but with my heart." For a moment he stood there, enveloped in the quiet, feeling the weight of the decision yet to be made. It was a choice that demanded not just leadership but courage, a courage that would require him to delve into the depths of his own beliefs and rediscover the faith that had once been his guiding star. As the night deepened, Lucas turned away from the statue, feeling both the burden and the blessing of the task before him. He walked back home with a heart full of contemplation, knowing that when the time came, he would face the choice with the support of his community and the silent, unwavering strength of his faith. The journey was far from over, but in the embrace of the night, Lucas felt a flicker of hope, a hope that spoke of healing, unity, and a future where the past and the present could coexist in harmony, guided by the light of a faith rekindled. The morning sun rose gently over the small town of St. Bridget's, casting a warm glow across the cobblestone streets. Lucas awoke with a sense of unease that had settled in his stomach like a stone. Today marked the beginning of the preparations to remove the statue, a decision that had stirred both hope and dissent within the community. As mayor, he felt the weight of the town's expectations pressing heavily upon him. After a quiet breakfast, Lucas made his way to the town square, where the statue stood as a silent sentinel against the backdrop of the brightening sky. As he approached, he noticed something unusual. Flowers, dozens of them, had been placed at the base of the statue. Their vibrant colors stood out starkly against the weathered stone, forming a vibrant tapestry of love and remembrance. Lucas paused, taking in the scene. The flowers seemed to whisper a silent protest, their presence speaking louder than any words could. He felt a pang of emotion, recognizing the deep connection his community felt toward this piece of their history. As if summoned by an unspoken call, townspeople began to gather. They came quietly, forming a circle around the statue. Families, elders, young couples, and children all united in their silent vigil. Some held candles, others clutched rosaries, their fingers moving rhythmically over the beads in a prayerful cadence. The air was filled with a profound sense of reverence and loss. Lucas stood among them, his heart heavy yet uplifted by the display of unity. He watched as an elderly woman, her hair a crown of silver, knelt to place a single white lily at the statue's base. Her eyes, filled with tears, met Lucas's for a brief moment, and in that gaze, he saw the collective sorrow and hope of his community. The developers, eager to proceed, arrived soon after. Their impatience was palpable, and they exchanged uncertain glances at the unexpected gathering. One of them, a tall man with a clipboard, approached Lucas. "Mayor Lucas, we're ready to begin," he said, his voice professional but lacking the warmth that filled the square. Lucas hesitated, his gaze shifting from the developers to the circle of townspeople. He felt the growing chasm between his duties and his convictions widen with each passing second. The silent protest spoke to a deeper truth that he could no longer ignore. "Can we delay?" Lucas asked, his voice steady but filled with the weight of an internal struggle. "Just for today. Let's give them this time." The developer frowned, clearly frustrated but sensing the gravity of the moment. "All right, but we can't wait too long. We have schedules to keep." Lucas nodded, grateful for the small concession. He turned back to the gathering, feeling their silent prayers wash over him like a tide, pulling him into a deeper understanding of his own role and responsibility. As the sun climbed higher, the square remained a place of quiet reflection. Lucas moved through the crowd, exchanging nods and whispered words of comfort. He found himself drawn to the statue, and for a moment, he stood alone before it, lost in thought. How had he come to this crossroads? The decision to remove the statue was meant to symbolize progress and renewal, yet it had unearthed a deeper longing for connection and continuity within the town. The silent protest had become a turning point, revealing the intricate dance between past and present. Lucas closed his eyes, seeking guidance in the depths of his own faith. He thought of his childhood, of the times he'd played in the shadow of the statue, hearing stories of the town's founding and the hardships its people had overcome. Those memories were etched into the very fabric of his soul, a testament to the enduring spirit of St. Bridget's. A voice broke through his reverie. It was Father Thomas, the town's pastor, his presence as calming as a gentle breeze. "Lucas, it seems the community has spoken." Lucas turned, meeting the priest's compassionate gaze. "They have," he replied, his voice tinged with both doubt and determination. "But how do we move forward?" Father Thomas placed a reassuring hand on Lucas's shoulder. "Remember, faith is not just in the things we can see, but in the unseen threads that bind us together. Perhaps this is a moment to listen to truly hear what the heart of the community is saying." Lucas nodded, the priest's words resonating deeply within him. The silent protest was more than a plea to preserve a piece of stone. It was a call for unity, for healing, for a future where the past was honored rather than erased. As the afternoon wore on, the crowd slowly began to disperse, leaving behind a sea of flowers that whispered their own quiet benediction. Lucas lingered, watching as the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the square. In that moment, he felt a shift within himself, a rekindling of the faith that had once guided him, a faith that called him to lead not just with authority but with compassion and understanding. The path was not yet clear, but he felt a renewed sense of hope, a belief that the future could hold both progress and preservation. With a final glance at the statue and the flowers that surrounded it, Lucas made his way back home. The journey was indeed far from over, but as he walked through the embrace of the evening, he carried with him the strength of his community and the silent, unwavering light of his faith. The next chapter awaited, and Lucas knew he would face it with a heart open to the possibilities of healing, unity, and a future where the past and present could coexist in harmony. As the soft hues of dawn crept over the village, Lucas lay awake, the familiar contours of his bedroom offering little comfort. His mind replayed the events of the past weeks, the heated town hall meetings, the whispers of division among the villagers, and his own wavering resolve. It was Elena's gentle encouragement that lingered most, her quiet strength urging him to seek solace in faith once more. With a sigh, Lucas rose from bed, the floorboards creaking beneath his feet like an old friend greeting him. He glanced at Elena, still peacefully asleep, and felt a surge of gratitude. Her unwavering support had been his anchor, guiding him through the storm of doubt. Today, he decided, would be a step toward reclaiming the faith that had once illuminated his path. As he dressed, Lucas recalled Elena's words from the night before. "Perhaps it's time to seek counsel, Lucas. Father Thomas has always been there for us." Her suggestion resonated deeply, and he resolved to visit the church before the day began in earnest. The morning air was crisp as Lucas walked the familiar path to the village church. The world around him was waking, the symphony of birdsong intertwined with the distant tolling of the church bell. He paused for a moment, inhaling the scent of dew-kissed grass, and felt a flicker of hope stir within him. Upon entering the church, a sense of peace enveloped him. The stained glass windows cast vibrant patterns on the stone floor, and the flickering candles added a gentle warmth to the sacred space. Father Thomas stood near the altar, his serene presence a testament to the decades he had devoted to guiding souls toward the light. "Lucas, my son," Father Thomas greeted him with a smile, his eyes twinkling with the wisdom of years. "It's been too long." "Too long indeed, Father," Lucas admitted, the weight of his absence from the church settling heavily upon him. Father Thomas gestured for Lucas to join him in a pew, and together they sat in the quietude of the morning. "Tell me, what brings you here today?" Lucas hesitated, searching for words to convey the turmoil within. "I find myself at a crossroads, Father. The decision about the statue has stirred something within me, a crisis of faith, perhaps." Father Thomas nodded, his gaze steady and understanding. "Faith is a journey, Lucas, not a destination. Sometimes, we must walk through the shadows to appreciate the light." The truth of those words resonated deeply, and Lucas felt a sense of release, as if a burden had been acknowledged. "I've neglected my faith, my marriage. I've been so consumed by the external battles that I've forgotten the internal ones." "Faith and marriage are much alike," Father Thomas mused. Both require nurturing, patience, and a willingness to listen to God, to each other, and to our own hearts. As they spoke, Lucas felt the presence of the community around him, the silent prayers of generations echoing through the hallowed walls. He realized that the decision about the statue was not merely about preserving a piece of history. It was about identity, belief, and the legacy they would leave for future generations. "Father, how do I reconcile the past and the present?" Lucas asked, his voice tinged with desperation. "Through prayer and introspection," Father Thomas replied, his gaze unwavering. "In the quiet moments, seek God's guidance. He will help you see the path that aligns with both your heart and your duty." Lucas nodded, absorbing the wisdom in the priest's words. He felt a renewed determination to face the challenges ahead, to seek clarity through the lens of faith and community. "Thank you, Father," Lucas said, rising from the pew with a heart lighter than when he had entered. "Remember, Lucas," Father Thomas added gently, "you are not alone. Your community stands with you, as does God." With those words echoing in his mind, Lucas left the church, the morning sun now casting a golden glow over the village. He walked home with a sense of purpose, ready to face the day and the decisions that lay ahead. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Lucas and Elena sat together on their porch, the air filled with the scent of blooming jasmine. He shared his conversation with Father Thomas, and they spoke of their hopes and fears, their love for one another a steady thread woven through the tapestry of their lives. "I've been so focused on the battle with the developers that I forgot what truly matters," Lucas admitted, his hand clasping Elena's. "Our faith, our marriage, our community, these are the things worth fighting for." Elena smiled, her eyes reflecting the stars that now dotted the night sky. "We'll face whatever comes together, Lucas. With faith and love, there's nothing we can't overcome." As the evening deepened, Lucas felt a sense of peace settle over him. He understood that the path forward would not be easy, but with Elena by his side and the support of his community, he was ready to face it. The decision about the statue was a symbol of something greater, a testament to the enduring power of faith and unity. In the days that followed, Lucas found solace in prayer and reflection. He attended Mass regularly, each service a balm for his spirit, reconnecting him with the sacred traditions that had shaped his life. The villagers, too, rallied around him, their unity a powerful force, inspiring him to stand firm in his convictions. As the time approached to meet with the developers, Lucas felt a growing clarity within. He understood that his decision would not please everyone, but it was one he could stand by with integrity and faith. The statue was more than a piece of history. It was a beacon of identity, a reminder of the values that bound them together as a community. The day of the meeting dawned bright and clear, the village bathed in the soft glow of morning light. Lucas stood before the mirror, adjusting his tie, and felt a sense of calm settle over him. The journey had been long and arduous, but he was ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. With Elena's hand in his, Lucas made his way to the town hall, where the developers awaited. As he entered the room, he carried with him the strength of his faith, the love of his wife, and the unwavering support of his community. The path was clear, and he was ready to walk it with courage and conviction. As Lucas stood before the gathered developers in the town hall, he felt the weight of the past weeks lifting from his shoulders. The room was filled with a tense anticipation, the air thick with the unspoken hopes and fears of everyone present. Sunlight streamed through the tall windows, casting patterns of light and shadow across the polished wooden floor, much like the choices that lay before them, each path offering its own blend of promise and uncertainty. Taking a deep breath, Lucas began to speak, his voice steady but filled with an earnest conviction. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for gathering here today. This journey, as you all know, has been about more than just a piece of land or a statue. It's about what binds us as a community, our shared values, our history, and our faith. He paused, glancing around at the faces of his friends, neighbors, and even those who had been skeptical of his leadership. He saw in their eyes a reflection of the struggle and hope they all shared. Elena stood at the back of the room, her presence a constant source of strength and love, her eyes meeting his with unwavering support. The statue, Lucas continued, is not just a relic of the past. It is a symbol of who we are and what we stand for. Removing it would mean losing a part of ourselves. I've wrestled with this decision, but I believe that preserving our heritage is more important than any economic gain. A murmur rippled through the room, a mixture of relief and approval. Lucas could see the developers exchanging glances, their expressions thoughtful. He knew they had come with their own plans, but he hoped they would understand the deeper significance of what he was saying. To his surprise, the lead developer, a man named Mr. Bennett, stood up. His demeanor was calm, his gaze respectful. Lucas, we appreciate your honesty and dedication to your community. We came here today prepared with an alternative proposal, one that we believe respects both progress and tradition. Lucas listened intently as Mr. Bennett outlined a revised plan. The new development would be designed to incorporate the statue as a central feature, a tribute to the village's history and a beacon of its identity. The plan not only preserved the statue but also enhanced the area around it, creating a space where both new opportunities and long-standing values could thrive side by side. As the details unfolded, Lucas felt a surge of hope. This was more than he had dared to wish for, a chance to honor the past while embracing the future. He turned to the community members present, seeing the same realization dawning on their faces. This was a resolution that promised redemption, a way forward that acknowledged their collective soul. When Mr. Bennett finished speaking, the room erupted in applause. The sound was a harmonious blend of joy and relief, echoing like a hymn of gratitude. Lucas felt tears prick at the corners of his eyes, overwhelmed by the magnitude of what had just transpired. He looked to Elena, who was beaming with pride and love, and knew that this was a turning point for them all. The days that followed were filled with a renewed sense of purpose. The village buzzed with excitement as plans for the new development were set into motion. Lucas found himself at the center of these activities, his role as a leader reinvigorated by the trust and support of his community. His faith, once shaken by doubt and uncertainty, was now a guiding light, illuminating the path ahead with clarity and hope. Lucas and Elena grew closer, their bond strengthened by the trials they had faced together. They found solace in each other's presence, their shared journey bringing a deeper understanding and appreciation for the love they held. Lucas realized that his marriage, like his faith, was a foundation upon which he could build a life of meaning and fulfillment. The resolution of the statue's fate had brought with it a sense of redemption not just for the community, but for Lucas personally. He had faced his fears and insecurities, emerging with a renewed commitment to his faith and his calling. He understood now that true leadership was not about wielding power, but about serving others with humility and grace. As the weeks passed, anticipation grew for the upcoming celebratory Massachusetts. It would be a gathering of the entire community, a chance to give thanks for the blessings they had received and the journey they had shared. The church, with its soaring arches and stained glass windows, stood as a testament to the enduring faith that had carried them through. On the day of the Mass, the village was alive with a palpable sense of joy. Families dressed in their Sunday best made their way to the church, the sound of laughter and conversation filling the air. Lucas walked hand in hand with Elena, their hearts light with gratitude. Inside the church, the atmosphere was one of reverence and celebration. The pews were filled with familiar faces, all gathered to offer thanks and praise. The priest, Father Thomas, stood at the altar, his voice a calming presence as he led them in prayer. The Mass was a beautiful tapestry of music, scripture, and reflection. The choir's voices soared, their hymns a testament to the grace and mercy that had guided them. Lucas felt a profound sense of peace as he knelt in prayer, the weight of past burdens lifted by the promise of new beginnings. As the service drew to a close, Father Thomas addressed the congregation. Today, we celebrate not just a victory for our community, but a testament to the power of faith and unity. Let us carry this spirit forward, embracing the challenges and opportunities ahead with courage and love. The congregation responded with a resounding Amen, their voices united in a chorus of hope. Lucas and Elena exchanged a glance, their hearts full of gratitude for the journey they had taken and the blessings they had received. As they left the church, the sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the village. The statue stood proudly at the heart of the community, a symbol of the values that had brought them together. Lucas knew that the path ahead would not always be easy, but he was ready to walk it with faith, love, and unwavering dedication. In that moment, he understood that redemption was not a destination, but a continuous journey, a journey of faith, hope, and love. And with each step, Lucas carried with him the knowledge that he was never alone, for he was part of something greater than himself, a community bound by the enduring ties of faith and fellowship. The gentle clanging of bells echoed across the village as the statue of the Virgin Mary was returned to its rightful place in the plaza. It was a day of celebration, the air filled with the aroma of freshly baked bread and the vibrant colors of flowers adorning the base of the statue. The community had gathered in joyous assembly, their faces lit with the radiance of shared faith and renewed hope. Lucas stood among them, his heart swelling with gratitude. He watched as Father Miguel led the congregation in prayer, his voice a soothing cadence that seemed to lift the very air around them. The statue, now pristine and gleaming under the afternoon sun, symbolized more than just a return. It was a testament to the power of faith and community, a reminder of the journey they had all undertaken together. As Father Miguel concluded the prayer, Lucas felt Elena's hand slip into his, warm and reassuring. He turned to her, his eyes reflecting the gratitude and love he felt. Their paths had intertwined in ways he could never have imagined, and he was thankful for the second chance to align his life with his beliefs. Elena had become a cornerstone in his life, her unwavering faith and gentle spirit guiding him through moments of doubt and uncertainty. "Lucas," Elena whispered, her eyes shining with tears of happiness. "This is just the beginning." He nodded, his heart full. "I know, and I am ready for whatever comes next." Their relationship had deepened over the past few months, a bond strengthened by shared moments of prayer and community involvement. They found joy in the simple things: a shared meal, a walk through the fields, or an evening spent in quiet reflection. Together, they had become active members of the parish, volunteering their time to support those in need, organizing events, and lending a listening ear to those seeking solace. Lucas had discovered a profound sense of fulfillment in these moments, a feeling of being part of something greater than himself. He realized that his journey was not just about personal redemption, but about being a vessel of God's love and grace to others. It was in serving that he found healing, in giving that he received the peace he had long sought. As the crowd began to disperse, Lucas and Elena lingered near the statue, their hearts full. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the plaza. The air was cool and crisp, carrying with it the promise of a new season. "Would you like to take a walk?" Elena suggested, her voice soft and inviting. Lucas smiled, nodding in agreement. They strolled hand in hand, taking a familiar path that wound through the village park. The leaves rustled gently in the breeze, a symphony of nature's music. Birds chirped overhead, their melodies weaving through the branches. They reached a secluded bench near the edge of the park, a favorite spot where they often sat to talk and reflect. Lucas settled onto the wooden seat, feeling the comforting weight of Elena beside him. He gazed at the statue in the distance, its presence a constant reminder of the journey he had undertaken. In the quietude of the moment, Lucas contemplated the silent miracles that had transformed his life. He thought of the struggles he had faced, the mistakes he had made, and the redemption he had found. Each moment of doubt had been a step towards understanding, each trial a lesson in faith. "Do you ever think about how far we've come?" Elena asked, her voice thoughtful. "Every day," Lucas replied, his gaze still fixed on the statue. "Sometimes it's hard to believe how much has changed, but I know that it's all part of something bigger, part of God's plan for us." Elena nodded, her eyes filled with a deep, abiding kindness. "Faith is a living presence, isn't it? It's in every moment, guiding us, sustaining us." "Yes," Lucas agreed, feeling the truth of her words resonate within him. "And it's in the community we've built, the love we share, and the hope we hold for the future." They sat in companionable silence, the weight of their shared journey settling comfortably between them. The setting sun painted the sky in hues of pink and gold, a masterpiece of divine artistry. In that moment of grace, Lucas understood that faith was not a static thing, but a vibrant, living force, one that would continue to guide him through life's challenges. As the stars began to twinkle in the twilight sky, Lucas felt a profound sense of peace. He knew that the road ahead would not always be easy, but he was ready to face it with faith, love, and unwavering dedication. He was not alone. He was part of a community bound by the enduring ties of faith and fellowship. "Thank you, Elena," he said softly, his voice filled with emotion. "For what?" she asked, her eyes warm and curious. "For being part of my journey," Lucas replied. "For showing me the way back to faith." Elena smiled, her heart full. "We walk this path together, Lucas, always." As they sat beneath the vast expanse of the night sky, Lucas felt the gentle presence of something greater than himself. It was a testament to the silent miracles that had brought him to this moment, a testament of faith that would continue to guide him on his journey. And with Elena by his side, he knew that he was exactly where he was meant to be. If this story touched your heart, let us know in the comments what message stood out to you most. Please like this video and subscribe for more true stories of faith, hope, and community. May the blessings of the Virgin Mary be with you wherever you're watching from.